Welcome to Freaky Fauna Friday, where every Friday we take a little time and explore some of the freaks of nature from around the planet we cherish so deeply. So please, jump aboard and let's explore the wilds together. Welcome back to Freaky Fauna Friday. I am the great and powerful mystery.
Ooh, you're powerful
I
today?
know. Yeah, it's because I was so sick last week.
Then I'll be the peaceful one.
There you go.
I'll be peaceful Jay.
Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite animals.
Ooh, a bowfin?
It's a joke because I say that pretty much
Every episode.
every episode. No, it is one I've had a long history with. I love this guy. He's the white sturgeon.
Ooh, okay. Okay.
So we're doing the white sturgeon specifically.
We've talked about this one a lot off air.
Yeah, and you want to know what the scientific name is?
I have no idea.
Now, it sounds bad, but this is a scientific name.
Okay.
Acipincer transmontanus.
Wow. I would never have guessed that.
Now, that is how it's said, but it's just one of those scientific names that just sounds bad.
Yeah, I could see that. Understandably so.
And it's not spelled like that at all.
It's just how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I'm a bit congested today.
Oh, they know.
So, yeah, just you have to deal with it.
But what do you know about white sturgeon before we continue?
I know they can get big. That's about all I know for sure. They get big.
Get big.
Yep.
But yeah, we're going to talk about some fun facts and just some life history with these guys. Before we get into it, let's just talk about white sturgeon. What do you think they like to eat?
Aren't sturgeon bottom feeders?
Their mouth is on the bottom of their body, kind of like a stingray.
So they're like scavengers?
Kind of. They have what's called a protractile mouth.
Okay.
So their mouth actually shoots out to create a vacuum to suck things in.
Like a goblin shark?
Kind of. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Except there's more like actual funnel,
Okay.
and they don't have teeth that you can touch. They have pharyngeal teeth in their stomach that they use for crushing.
Okay.
So, like, if you put your hand in a white sturgeon's mouth, you're fine. Like,
Right,
They,
yeah.
they can have a lot of pressure. Don't get me wrong. Because I think when we worked with these guys in labs, that scared people. Because they're like, yeah, you can put your hand in their mouth. They have a lot of pressure.
But it didn't cut.
It does not cut or crush.
Okay.
But it feels like it's going to crush your hand sometimes for the really big ones.
Yeah.
But these guys eat everything.
Okay.
Pretty much if it fits in that mouth, they're going to eat it. Like you said, they are scavengers partially, but they are active predators. They eat everything from salmon, flounder, herring, crab, shrimps, clams, lampreys, barnacles, mussels, and crayfish.
They eat it all.
Yeah, pretty much anything they can catch and fit in their mouth, they're going to eat.
And their stomach will crush it up.
Yeah. But they are not above scavenging. They love salmon runs because they eat all the dying or dead salmon.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they're pretty much just going to eat whatever they can catch.
Yeah.
But they do like a lot of crunchy food. So a lot of hard-shelled animals.
Okay, that
They're
makes
pretty
sense.
good at like crushing up clams and stuff like that.
They probably need it too.
Oh yeah, they're big. I mean, so it's not hard for them. Their babies are called fry.
Okay.
They do lay eggs. They do school. They kind of stop this behavior when we get to the supersized adults, and we'll talk about those guys in a minute. They don't have any true teeth, like we've already said. Some of their biggest threats are overfishing.
Makes sense.
Aren't
these endangered as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They are omnivores. They have been seen to eat some plant-like matters and stuff like that too.
That's surprising.
Not very picky. Other common names they have is Oregon sturgeon, Pacific sturgeon, Sacramento sturgeon, and Columbia sturgeon. Pretty much named after the ocean or the rivers they're found in.
Okay.
No teeth, but taste buds are outside their mouth. These are called barbels.
Okay.
So they have a bunch of whiskers on the inside of their mouth.
Kind of like a catfish has two?
Yep.
Okay.
Catfish have more than two. They have two big ones. And a bunch of little ones on their chin.
Okay. I guess I did know that.
They do have They do have the two really big ones.
Yeah, that's all I think of though.
Yeah. But yeah, these guys are awesome. They're pretty much always going to be white, but they have been seen in gray and dark brown in color. They are ray-finned fish. They have extremely large and dense bony plates that grow into their skin.
Right. Okay.
They can be pretty fast, but most of the time you're just going to see them going slow, maybe just a couple miles an hour.
They're just cruising along the bottom.
Yeah. How long do you think it takes them to reach sexual maturity?
Gosh, I have no idea. 6 months.
25 years.
What? 25 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's kind of insane.
A lot of sturgeon, that's a problem with like the caviar industry
Yeah.
and a lot of other industries revolving around sturgeon, is that they live forever and they take a long time to become sexually mature.
Well, that makes sense.
So the populations can disappear. It's what we've talked about on the show before, called functionally extinct, to where there are no babies.
Right, yeah.
So the population is dead, even though there are old adults still left. So that's a big worry with the white sturgeon.
Hmm.
Here in Ohio, we have a similar problem with big-mouth buffalo, which is a type of fish.
Right, that looked like a carp or something.
Yeah, they are a type of sucker. They're the largest sucker we have in North America.
Oh, wow.
But we don't find their babies anymore, and they live to be well over 100.
Aren't there territories, I guess, getting taken over by invasive species?
Yeah, their competition that's invasive is just wiping them out.
Yeah.
Plus humans are killing them thinking that they're the invasive.
Hmm.
So it's not good on either.
Not smart.
So the white sturgeon is a massive prehistoric fish that can survive in both fresh and saltwater environments.
Hmm.
They are a popular sport fish due to their size and their taste, but most regions have extremely strict regulations to prevent overfishing. Their shark-like fins or fish have survived on Earth for hundreds of millions of years, but its infrequently reproduction means it recovers from population loss extremely slow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a big problem that they have. They've been around for a long time. We have fossils of these guys well before a lot of the dinosaurs that are famous.
Are they older than trees?
Sturgeon themselves are.
Wow.
I don't know if white sturgeon are exactly.
Okay, but the sturgeons themselves are.
Yeah. So let's get into some fun facts. They are North America's largest freshwater fish by quite a large margin.
Okay. What's the next closest?
I'd give it to the alligator gar.
Probably
and
right.
Technically, depends on how you want to cut it. The alligator gar is probably North America's largest freshwater fish because these guys are androgynous.
Ah, an alligator gar only in freshwater.
Yeah. Sometimes brackish, very rarely, but they don't go out in the ocean.
Right.
White sturgeon, especially the big adults, spend a lot of their time in the ocean.
Okay.
But the largest North American fish, the white sturgeon, is North America's largest freshwater fish and one of the largest freshwater fish in the world. Want to guess? Do you know how long they get?
Let's go. I'm gonna guess over 14 feet.
So 20 feet is the longest accurately ever measured.
Okay.
That's very big. That's bigger than most trucks and SUVs and all that stuff. You want to guess how much that one weighed? That 20-footer we measured.
Oh gosh. 4,000 pounds.
So they're kind of like a hot dog, right? So they're long, but not super wide.
But they're bony.
They are bony. 1,800 pounds.
Okay, I guess I overshot quite a bit, huh?
But there is historic evidence suggesting they get up to 25 feet long and 4,000 pounds.
I got that
So
one.
you got that one. But yeah, this is the biggest ones we ever have measured. Now it's extremely rare to find any over 16 feet.
Okay.
And a 16-footer is pretty rare. No teeth. Despite their intimidating appearance, the species doesn't have any teeth. Instead, they suck their prey into their mouth and swallow it whole. They do have taste buds on the outside of their mouth. Unlike most fish, this species' taste buds are outside their mouth, not on the inside. Helps them detect prey to consume. So the barbels actually help them detect direction, stuff hiding in the soils.
That makes sense.
Like their cousins, like the lake sturgeon, eat a lot of worms.
Yeah.
They'll scoop up mud. But they need these barbels. They don't want to aimlessly just keep scooping mud into their mouth. They want to know where the worms will actually form mats in the dirt. They're often mistaken for sharks. They have an extremely shark-like appearance, and that makes sense. They're actually from about the same time period. They've been alongside each other for a long time.
It's very old old species.
White sturgeon look extremely shark-like with their scaly bodies and their unbalanced caudal fins. But in reality, the two are not close related and do not share very many behaviors at all. The only big danger you are with a white sturgeon, if you're not fishing for one, is them jumping into you on accident.
Okay.
Because they get skittish and if you get in a kayak going over them.
And then crush you or
they'll
something?
They'll jump straight up.
Oh, okay.
And they're big, so if they hit you, a lot of times they can kill you from that. But they're panicking because you scared them.
Right, yeah. Makes sense.
White sturgeon classification and scientific name. The scientific name of the sturgeon, like I already said, is Acipincer transmontanus, which basically means Acipincer means sturgeon, trans means beyond, and montanus means mountains.
Okay.
So these are sturgeon beyond the mountains.
So they're only found on the West Coast?
Yes. So that's what the scientific name breaks down, because all the other sturgeon, there are European sturgeon, there are African sturgeon, there are tons of North American sturgeon. But once we got over, these were the big guys that they found on the other side of the Rockies.
Right, yeah.
The species belongs to the Antilogyli, which is the order of Accipinceriforms in the family Accipinceridae. Any of the 27 species of fish within this family may go by the common name sturgeon. The white sturgeon genus, though, Accipincер, is the largest of its order, containing 17 of the 27 species. The other three are Hunso, Sacrococcus, and Pseudo-Sacrolophiliacus. I hate scientific names.
Yeah, it's too much.
So this white sturgeon's appearance. White sturgeon are not prominent white, as their name suggests. Their dorsal region, the upper body, is grayish, or even sometimes a dark brown, or the ventral region, the bottom, is white. Their fins are gray and include a dorsal, anal, pelvic, and pectoral fins. Instead of scales, they have two large rows of 4 to 8 scutes. A scute is a bony plate of armor. And they have a hectrodactyl tail.
What's that mean?
Which is a caudal fin that is longer on the top lobe than the bottom lobe.
Oh, okay.
It's just like a shark. Think of like a shark fin.
The big tail, not fluke, but your tail fin, where the top's a lot more prominent and bigger.
The lobe. They do have a large mouth. They have no teeth. They rely on suction to entrap their prey. Adults, on average, are going to be anywhere from 990 pounds to 1,500 pounds, ranging anywhere from 5 to 14 feet in length when they reach sexual maturity. However, the longest individual ever caught and accurately measured was that 20-foot one that weighed 1,800 pounds.
That'd be an awesome monster to pull in.
But like I already said, with some historic records putting them into the 25-foot range and being upwards of 4,000 pounds.
That's a big fish.
Yeah, it's up there with great white sharks.
Yeah.
It's longer than the biggest great white shark and not quite as heavy.
Okay, gotcha.
Their distribution, population, and habitat. White sturgeon embody fresh and salt water in the United States along the Pacific coast from the Gulf of Alaska all the way through California. Canada, and Mexico along the Pacific coast. So pretty much the whole side of North and Central America on the Pacific. They can't show up anywhere in there. In the United States, these fish mainly inhabit Alaska Bay, Washington, Oregon, and California, along with northwestern Montana in very limited populations. With Canada, I mean, they solely inhabit the coastal province of British Columbia. In Mexico, they can be found in states as in the Baja California. They largely inhabit the Fraser River in British Columbia and the Columbian River and the tributaries in Washington and Oregon, the Sacramento-San Jose systems in California. Though they spend much of their time in marine environments, white sturgeon swim through estuaries and rivers in this meet the sea in order to move upriver. They do in early spring spawn. However, there are populations that are landlocked. So there are true white sturgeon populations that cannot get to the ocean anymore.
Okay.
That is in the Columbian River, the Montana, Lake Shasta in California has landlocked white sturgeon. Scientists have found members of the species living all the way up to 400 feet of depth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The number of white sturgeon has declined since 2004. And they are listed, in 2004, they were listed as least concern. In 2020, they were changed to vulnerable. And the WWF lists sturgeon as most endangered species group on Earth.
You almost threw me when you said WWF. I forgot what it was.
The World Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah, not wrestling, federation.
So yeah, they had over the last couple decades, a dramatic population decline again.
Ooh, not good.
So they went from least concern to the most endangered species group on the Earth.
In one swift jump, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not good.
Dams, habitation destruction, overfishing, commercial destruction, and then like trawling is destroying the bottom of the ocean habitats and stuff like that.
Okay.
These guys are the top of the food chain in many environments, so
they're the first ones affected.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's not many of them. Naturally, there shouldn't be many of them. Let me see. They first appeared on Earth approximately 500 million years ago.
Dang. They've been around for a while.
Yeah. The prehistoric ancestors of white sturgeon date back about to 175 million years ago. The fish likely evolved from the extinct order of fishes called paleosophiophiles, which existed near the Silurian period 419 million years ago.
Uh-oh, lizard people.
Mm-hmm. Modern white sturgeon belong to the same class and order as acipinsiforms. Only 2 surviving orders live in this: acipinsiforms, which is sturgeon, and Polyodontidae, which is paddlefish.
Okay, I didn't know they were related.
They're extremely related.
Huh.
They can actually hybridize.
Really?
Yes, and they look funky.
I bet. Have you seen one in person?
Yeah, not in person, no.
Oh, just pictures?
Yeah.
Because we know people who have paddlefish.
Yeah, I know people have white sturgeon too.
We got to make the things come together.
There was a Chinese paddlefish, which is believed to be extinct, which I really hope is not.
Yeah.
Which literally looks like a sturgeon paddlefish hybrid. It is like the halfway in between.
Wonder if that's just what it is.
Probably not. These guys are very closely related. Paddlefish just have a really distinct nose.
Yeah.
But you can actually, if you look on the underside of the sturgeon nose, you can see those same nerve endings and everything like that. It's just a more dramatic one.
Interesting. Paddlefish are cool fish.
They do look different until you kind of really start looking at them.
Okay.
And looking at their biology and stuff like that. Then you can really see that they are very closely related. Any questions so far?
No, not quite. We need to protect these guys.
Yeah, these are definitely ones that have a risk of not being here for our kids.
Yeah.
The largest freshwater fish probably on the planet.
Let's try to preserve them for a few more generations.
And they're pretty friendly if you don't, stab them.
Yeah. Most fish are, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, there's not very many fish you got to be like scared of that one.
Bull shark?
I mean, you don't have to be scared of a bull shark. Just don't mess with the bull shark.
Well, I mean,
don't go to where they live.
They can be anywhere, though. You mean water?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's only like 3 of them at any given time in the Mississippi River drainage.
Still.
Due to their massive size, the adult species only have a few natural predators, humans being the biggest one. Some sharks occasionally take a stab at some of the bigger ones, like tiger sharks.
Wow.
They'll take a stab at eating an adult white sturgeon in the ocean. But their most serious predator in the ocean is lampreys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is a parasitic jawless fish.
Yeah. How do they attack them?
They suck onto the side of them and drink their bodily fluids.
Ah, dang. Okay, that's pretty nuts.
And the sturgeon, they can't get them.
Can't reach them.
They don't got arms.
That'll be the next, I don't know, thing they grow is arms.
Oh, they've had a long time to do it, and they haven't done it yet.
I guess you're right.
And the only thing that's probably older than them is probably lamprey.
Or sharks.
Sharks are probably just right there with them. Okay. Not older.
Fair.
But lamprey are extremely old.
Dang, okay. So natural enemies from all of time.
And they have a lot of eggs because their eggs get eaten fast, including by
humans.
Parents sometimes.
By what?
Parents sometimes.
Oh, the parents will eat the eggs. Oh,
yeah, because they go right up with a lot of the salmon runs, and they just start hoovering up the salmon bodies and the salmon eggs. But they release anywhere from 400,000 to 4 million eggs at one time.
That's a lot.
Because they do not have a high survival rate.
No, so they need a lot of eggs. And unfortunately, humans are harvesting them for caviar.
That is a little different than going into the environment. Those are cutting them out of the sturgeon.
Right, which is way worse.
Which is way worse because it kills the sturgeon. The sturgeon never reproduces again.
Mm-hmm.
But the eggs are extremely sticky and they sink to the bottom really quick, so they try to adhere to any surfaces.
Okay.
So they don't get pulled off as easy. They hatch after 12 to 14 days. They can hatch anywhere from 5 to 25 days, and they keep their yolk sac for anywhere from 12 to 14 days. Larval sturgeon are extremely weak swimmers due to their yolk sac. Eventually, their instinctive spread allows the current to take them downstream, providing predators with less concentrated food source. By about 50 days old, the sturgeon yolk sac is a tiny version of the adult itself, complete with barbels and scutes. They can live well over 100 years in optimal conditions, with some individuals believed to be almost hitting 175 years old.
It's pretty ancient.
These guys live a long time, and they don't breed every year.
Well, no, they can't.
I mean, after they hit sexual maturity, a lot of fish that don't die in spawning will breed every year.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
White sturgeon do not. They may go 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years in between breeding.
Jeez. Yeah, it's no wonder why their numbers don't rebound very quickly.
Oh, we've talked about in the show before that with apex predators, they're not supposed to.
Right.
In healthy environments, apex predators produce very, very few offspring.
Yep.
Or very, very few successful offspring.
Okay.
Because even though a big female would produce 4 million maybe 2 of those
We'll make it.
survived to adulthood. So, she replaces her and her partner every 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not good turnover.
No,
especially when we're catching them and cutting them up and stealing their eggs.
Yeah. There are a lot of fisheries for these guys, and there are everything from very sustainable fisheries to non-sustainable fisheries.
Okay.
I think most of it now is catch and release.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah. They jump, they fight. Sometimes, you hook up with one, it'll be 16-hour fight.
Good fighting fish.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is something I always want to go out. There are charters for them.
Really?
They're really expensive.
I bet.
But I'm going to wait for when Atlas is old enough to enjoy it.
That'd be fun.
Because it's like $1,500 a day.
Oh, dang.
But you get to catch a fish as long as the boat.
It's catch and release, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't ever want to keep one.
Well, no, but kind of want to know what one tastes like at that point.
Just lick it.
Yeah, delicious. I'll lick a bony plate.
I mean, you can eat lake sturgeon in places and stuff. Like, you can eat their cousins that reproduce a little faster.
Okay.
Lake sturgeon aren't doing so hot either.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're doing better than white sturgeon. But
yeah.
So Lake Erie they used to stack so many lake sturgeon up on the shore every week.
For what reason?
So when they were running gill nets and hoop nets for walleye and perch,
they get caught in them.
They get caught in them. So they would stack all the bodies in a pile on the beach every week and light it on fire.
Why?
To kill them off. And then the lake had extremely bad mayflies forever after because we killed the only 2 predators the mayflies had.
Yeah. Jeez, how dumb can we be?
It's just because their scoots cut the nets.
Oh, yeah, and they're ruining our bass and perch fishing.
So the one picture I seen was, I think, like 15 or 16,000 sturgeon laying in a pile.
Oh, my gosh.
And they lit it on fire, and then they were doing that every week for years.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, we're going to figure out a different way to fish.
Now. They're very rare now.
No wonder why. I've never seen one.
And I hooked one time in northern Michigan. I've seen them through the ice a bunch because they're very curious animals. Sturgeon are very smart because they live a long time. They develop curiosity. I've had them come up to the camera a bunch, and then I've had them come up to the actual ice hole and look into the hut.
That's nuts.
I was on Burt Lake.
It's like looking through a dimensional hole.
I mean, if you don't know what's staring back at you, it's scary because it's a huge animal. Peeking through an ice hole, looking at you into your hut.
Huh?
And you're like, oh, it's basically it's basically a fish manatee.
Can I reach in there and grab it?
Yeah, do that. The one I hooked didn't know it was hooked.
Just kept swimming.
Which was slow.
Yeah.
And I pretty much had to straighten the hook just because I didn't want to lose all my line. I was not trying to catch it. It was on like a walleye gear.
Okay.
So there was no chance of me ever turning it around.
Yeah, it wouldn't built. You didn't have the gear built for it.
No. But their mouths are so tough they don't even feel it.
Yeah.
Because they crunch up. Think of they're crunching up clams and mussels and
right. Yeah, crabs and
yeah. I mean, imagine I've seen white sturgeon suck up you don't realize how big they are in some of the videos until you watch there was one video in shallow waters where you see one coming up eating dead salmon.
Yeah.
And they're king salmon, so each of the salmon's 3.5 feet long and a foot wide.
Uh-huh.
And you just see it hoovering them up like a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
And in your head, you're thinking those salmon are a foot long. But you realize they're 10-year-old sized.
Yeah. And then you're watching this fish just suck them up like it's nothing.
And I've been in the water with a white sturgeon. There's several of them at freshwater farms here in Ohio.
Oh, nice. Okay.
You can pet them, stuff like that. They're very nice. They were a part of an experiment, a genetics experiment. Now they're there as retirement for public interaction. So there's lake sturgeon and white sturgeon and paddlefish there.
Oh, nice.
So all 3 are in one big tank.
Oh, they need to hybridize them.
I mean, they could.
They should.
But you can go there. If any of you guys are listening in Ohio, freshwater farms, it's free. I think there's a little spinning thing to get food, and if you have food in your hand, they will come up to you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And you've seen videos of me petting sturgeon.
Yeah.
It's a cool place. Any questions about white sturgeon?
Well, let's just protect these guys. Let's do our best that we can. That's all I can say.
All
it's
right.
a cool fish, big fish.
They're big.
Yeah.
I've been the great and peaceful Mr. E.
No, you're powerful.
I'm powerful today.
I'm peaceful.
All right.
I've been Jay.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Freaky Fauna Friday. If you want to help the podcast grow, remember to share and give it a 5-star review.